Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's edition of the Maconi Setup Shop A Fix tutorial. This week we are at the paperclip known as Martinsville Speedway, and this is going to be a real interesting one, so strap in and let's get to it. First thing that we're going to go over is, yes, you are going to be shifting a lot during this race. I forget what the real life cars were doing. I can't remember if they were fourth to third or third to second. Either way, on iRacing, you're going to be second gear in the corners and third gear down the straightaways. It is significantly faster. However, if you're not very comfortable, I suggest doing a lot of practice. Start in third gear all the way around until you're comfortable, because you're going to need a lot of coordination to do this properly and not lock up the tire or wheel hop and get yourself into an accident. The reference point that I would recommend using when you're braking and shifting into from third to second is where the transition is into the corner. That's where I would try to get into second gear. For braking, it's really where you feel comfortable. I can show a camera angle of where I try to brake, but it's usually at the end of the Cup Series sign. So here past the start finish, there's a Cup Series sign. We're on the brakes. You can hear the downshift pretty much as we're over the transition. And then down the back straightaway, same thing. Just past the NASCAR Sprint Cup sign on the wall, get on the brakes, downshifting into second around the transition uh, to set up for the corner. Now, a couple things to note. If you overdrive the corner, leave it in third gear and do all your braking in third gear until the car is slowed down enough, and then try to shift into second and get off the brakes. If you shift into second gear and hit the brakes hard, you will lose control of the car. The other thing is don't hit the curb. If you hit the curb in this car, you will also go around. As you can see, I really overdrove that corner and missed it, and the runoff that I got was just incredible. So it's not very penalizing to miss a corner here because of the launch that you get, but you don't want to make a bad habit of it because of the tire. It's a short track tire on iRacing, so it's not going to wear, but the more heat you have in the tire, the more you're going to slide around. Um, One last thing to touch on before we switch to the in-car is, oh wait, we talked about it earlier with the coordination. As you get into second gear, you don't want to be on the brakes, because if you're on the brakes in second gear, the car is just going to drive really weird. So yes, I'm in second gear, but as I'm going through the corner, I'm off the brakes. You don't want to. You want to do all your braking and stuff before you get on the brake or into the corner. So shifting and braking, because if you do any of that while you're in the corner, you're going to lose control of the car. Because it's a really short track and time goes by fast, I was going to show you guys all 10 laps from the outside, and then I'll go back. As you can see the laps, I mean, you're flying around here. So we'll go back and we'll do a couple of laps on the in-car for you guys to see, to have a reference point, and I'll close this out once this is finished. So here we go for the in-car. Okay, guys, again, a lot to unpack here. I know it's a short video, but there's really no point in me running more laps in this because there's really not going to be a lot of fall off. Yes, traffic is going to dictate your speeds, uh, but this is the fastest way to get around here. I would imagine at the beginning of the week, not a lot of people have this figured out, but towards the middle and end of the week, a lot of people should. If they don't have this figured out, then you'll be significantly faster. But you're going to want to practice a lot before you jump into a race. At least I would recommend that you practice a lot because it's not easy to do what I was demonstrating in this video. It takes a lot of coordination. If you have a wheel that has paddle shifters on it, I would really recommend using the paddle shifters for the shifting. Not to say you can't do this kind of shifting with a mounted shifter, but it would just make it a lot easier for you to do this with paddle shifters. That way you don't have to take your hands off the wheel and stuff like that. Um, you know, I try to preach patience, but for a car combination like this on this track, I mean, you're hustling this thing the whole time, which so it's gonna be, I think, intimidating for a lot of people with cars around, just because of how hard you have to drive it to make speed. But again, if you overdrive the corner, do most of your braking in third gear and then ease off the brakes and shift into second, because when you shift into second you really want to get off the brakes. If you have to do any braking for the corner, it's got to be very, very little, or you're going to find yourself out of control really quick. So just try to practice, and once you're comfortable uh, for the race, then best of luck, and do the best you can. All right, that'll do it for this week's video. Again, I can't preach it enough. You're going to want to practice and get comfortable with this before you race. Uh, just if you're struggling, just run third gear until you feel like you've got the hang of it and then incorporate shifting. Okay. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment down below and I will try to help you as much as I can. If you find that this video helps you, please consider leaving a like. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you can see these videos every Monday once Maconi Setup Shop posts them. All right, guys, best of luck this week, and we'll see you out on the track.